Well, hello to everyone, and hello, Miss Darcy. Thank you so much for being with us here today. I am so excited to get to have a quick conversation with you and to share your wisdom and insight with the people that we have in our world. So thank you so much.
Such an honor to be here.
Yes, thank you. Let's get straight into it. So we are talking about Women's History Month and really wanting to highlight the women in our lives and in our world, and really wanting to highlight you during these 10 minutes. And so if you would share with everyone, who is Darcy Luoma? What does she do professionally? And maybe a little bit, what do you enjoy personally as well?
Well, most important, I'm a mom to two teenage daughters and a teenage cat. I am a CEO of a coaching and consulting firm. We just celebrated 10 years in business, and everything we do focuses on creating high-performing people and teams using our thoughtfully fit model and philosophy.
Yes, I love it. I have your book here.
Oh.
I love your story. It resonates with me so much. If nobody knows who Darcy is, you should definitely look her up, get her book. It's amazing. So what is, and who would you say is maybe one of the most influential women in your life and who's made an impact on you?
Well, literally the first person who came to mind was my mom. She passed away last year. She taught me compassion. She showed me how to be an amazing mother imperfectly, how to love others through all their imperfections. I mean, literally. Now, if I go to one level up, I think somebody who has been just so inspirational to me is Brené Brown, and the research she has done and how she has committed her life to helping people learn more about vulnerability and connection and shame.
Yes, absolutely. I love her so much. Now, in your teachings, in your book, and the things that you communicate, you talk a lot about being resilient and being able to thoughtfully move forward. Again, it resonates so much with not just me, but so many people. And so I know that you have had your own hurdles to overcome in life, but I would like to ask you, like in particular as a leader, and breaking through some barriers in your field, because you are such a woman of influence. What would you say is one of the biggest hurdles that you've had to overcome as a female leader?
Well, hands down, the biggest hurdle I've had to overcome personally and professionally was when my husband was unexpectedly arrested. It was 2016 for sexual assault of a minor. And, it just, being a business owner is hard enough, being a woman business owner, being an entrepreneur, but then losing my life partner who handled everything on the home front, was a stay-at-home dad full time, and having to figure out how to navigate that trauma, how to be there to support my daughters, and how to figure out the mess of having the time and space to heal and recover, while also figuring out how to keep my business from collapsing with the weight of the severity of that trauma, was the by far the biggest hurdle that I've ever had to overcome.
Yeah. What do you think was, if you could sum it up, I know you've talked about it a lot, but what do you think is one of the biggest contributing factors to being able to overcome?
Well, ironically, after 5 years of deep dive research on what are the obstacles that get in the way of being high performing, we took thousands of hours of clients working with individuals and teams and organizations, and identified what are the top hurdles that get in the way, and then the strategies to overcome them. And that became Thoughtfully Fit. And Thoughtfully Fit officially came to life on a Saturday in March. And no kidding, 5 days later, my husband was arrested, and I had to hire my own attorney because the charges were so severe. And he said, Darcy, don't talk to anybody about anything. And so at my worst moment, I became ground zero to test drive Thoughtfully Fit in the marketplace. And it is not the best go-to-market strategy, I'm going to tell you. I don't recommend it, but it literally helped me. It saved me, because every moment for weeks, for months, I was having the hurdles that I'm working with my clients on, being overwhelmed, reacting poorly when blindsided,
Right.
relationships not working. And I was able to rely on that to help me through it.
I love that. I've had that moment in my life where it's like, I have taught this, I have lived this, but now the rubber meets the road and it's going to work or not. So I love that. That's your story. And that is what comes through in your book and in your teachings. It really is a powerful message that you have. So to sum it all up, for any other aspiring leaders, whether they be female or male or whatever, what would your advice be to someone who's aspiring and they're like, I have a lot of hurdles that I personally am still trying to break through or overcome? What would your advice be to them?
Yeah. I mean, a couple of things. One is, I think one of the things that really helped me to navigate this, and the reason I can even talk to you about it, Monica, is because I stepped into stillness and quieting the mind and just like being present with what was happening instead of what my default was to just get busy and numb out with work
Right.
and whatever, all the, different things that we use to numb out.
Right.
There's the other advice I give, there's a John Lennon quote that I love. And he said, everything will be okay in the end.
Mhm.
And if it's not okay, it's not the end.
Mhm.
And just remember that when there are obstacles and hurdles and challenges and adversity, that you can work through it. And if you can pause in the moment to think about how you want to show up and then act thoughtfully, things will be okay.
Love that.
You will get through it in the end.
I love that idea that you share. Think about how you want to show up. I think that is so important because it's so introspective, but yet it is very instantly applicable to what you're doing and how you're presenting yourself and who you are in meetings and relationships and everything. And so I love that thought and how you phrase it. So
Thank you. And it is
Darcy.
about showing up and self-managing in the moment. Okay,
Mhm.
I just got blindsided and I'm angry and I want to yell,
Mhm.
taking a breath and pausing to think, how do I want to show up right now? What's the best version of me? And then acting from that place instead of acting on autopilot, in the moment unconsciously, which oftentimes is not the best version of ourselves. That's
Right.
not for me.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. Sometimes the knee jerk is not the best. So, well, Darcy, I appreciate your time and your wisdom and your advice so very much, and the path you are paving, the vulnerability with which you share your story in your book and in your teachings. And so, thank you so much again for your time and for your insight. Appreciate you, and I know others will receive from it as well. Have a
Thank
good one.
you. It's an honor. And, just thank you for all that you are doing and
Yeah.
that Greg's doing to highlight women and to lift up women's voices. It is truly just such a service you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you, Darcy.